What if, a million years from now, intelligent beings land on a small, wet, blue planet, and they begin to dig? They find our fossilized bones. They'll find cities crushed to dust and shards of plastic and glass, warped by the pressure of millennia. They will look at our skeletons, this large brain case balanced on a weak spine, and they will try to decipher us, the same way we try to decipher a Neanderthal. They will call us Homo sapiens, the wise man. But the real and far more terrifying question is, who are they? Will they even recognize us as their kin? Or will we be as alien to them as a proto-ape is to us? What if I told you that human, what you are right now, is not the end of the line? It's not even the main story. It is a bridge. It is the fragile cocoon between the ape that throws rocks and the god that builds stars. We are proud of ourselves. Homo sapiens. We built pyramids, we wrote symphonies, we walked on the moon, we split the atom and decoded our own genome. But the truth is, we are a deeply flawed machine. We are a collection of biological compromises, built by 4 billion years of blind, random evolution. Its only goal? Not happiness, not wisdom, not truth, just survival, just long enough to reproduce. Your brain, this marvelous engine processing these words, is a masterpiece of patchwork. It is optimized for a savanna, not a metropolis. It fears things it shouldn't, like public speaking, and doesn't fear things it should, like climate change or nuclear weapons. It is riddled with cognitive biases. Your body? It's a mess. Your back hurts because it's a clumsy adaptation from walking on all fours. Your eyes have a blind spot, and most importantly, it decays. From the age of about 25, your body begins a slow, irreversible process of self-destruction. We call this aging. We are trapped. We are trapped in these fragile bodies of meat and bone. We are trapped on a single, vulnerable planet, a tiny speck of dust orbiting an average star in a forgotten corner of an unremarkable galaxy. We are geniuses locked in a biological prison. But the story of humanity is the story of escape. We had no claws, so we made spears. We had no wings, so we built airplanes. And now, we are staging our greatest escape. We are seizing the controls from evolution. We are beginning the process of designing ourselves. The question isn't if humanity will be replaced. The question is, how? The future is not one road. It is a great fork in that road. The historians of tomorrow will look back at our era as the time of the Great Fork. 3 main paths lie before us. 3 ways to escape the biological prison. The path of the flesh, the path of the steel, and the path of the light. The first path, the path of the flesh, is the most conservative. It doesn't seek to replace our biology, but to perfect it. The tool? CRISPR, the genetic scissors. We can now enter our own genome and edit it like a text document. Phase 1 is noble, eliminating genetic diseases. Huntington's, cystic fibrosis, thousands of curses lifted, a clear victory. But phase 2 is enhancement. Why stop at disease? Why not make our children immune to all viruses? Why not tweak our cells to regenerate perfectly, slowing aging to a crawl? Why not enhance our muscles? Our eyesight? Why not engineer us to withstand high radiation, perhaps for the long journey to Mars? And then, the big one, why not enhance intelligence? We know intelligence is heritable. What if we can find the genes and give our children 10 more IQ points, 20, 50? This is the birth of Homo Geneticus, the genetic human. Still human, but better. Disease-free, long-lived, stronger, smarter. But this path leads directly to a nightmare. You've seen it in movies, the Gattaca scenario. What happens when these enhancements are expensive? What happens when society is split, not by wealth, but by biology? An upper class of designed, perfect, enhanced humans, and a lower class of naturals, of us. How do you compete for a job against someone who is designed to be smarter, faster, and more charismatic than you? You can't. This isn't class warfare. This is speciation. The new human might look at the old human, the way we look at a chimpanzee, a poor, primitive relative left behind. The path of the flesh, in its attempt to perfect us, may tear us apart. This brings us to the second path, the path of the steel. This path says flesh is a dead end. It's weak, it gets sick, it dies. Why try to fix it? This path seeks to transcend biology. This is the birth of the cyborg, Homo Mechanicus. You think this is science fiction? It's already here. Hundreds of thousands of people have cochlear implants. They hear with a machine. Millions have pacemakers. Advanced prosthetics can now be controlled by pure thought. This is phase 1, restoration. But just like the first path, phase 2 is enhancement. Why only get a robotic arm if you've lost one? Why not replace your healthy arm with one that is 50 times stronger? Why settle for your mediocre biological eyes? Why not replace them with artificial ones that can see in infrared and ultraviolet, that can zoom in at a distance and record everything you see? And then, the brain. This is the world of brain-computer interfaces. Neuralink. The biggest problem with your brilliant brain isn't its processing power, it's the bandwidth, the input/output. You are a supercomputer, but you are forced to communicate by tapping on glass or by forcing air through your vocal cords. It's laughably slow. What if you could remove that bottleneck? What if you could just think to the internet? You don't need to learn a language, you download it. You don't need to remember history, you just know it. You could communicate complex emotional ideas to another person, instantly, thought to thought. This new human, this Homo Mechanicus, would be a god to us, a fusion of biological intelligence and artificial intelligence. But this path leads us to a paradox, a philosophical trap. It's called the Ship of Theseus. The paradox is this: if you have a wooden ship and over time you replace one plank that rots, it's still the Ship of Theseus. You replace 10 planks, still the same ship. But what if over decades you slowly replace every single piece of the ship? Every plank, every sail, every nail. Is it still the Ship of Theseus? And what if someone gathered up all the old pieces and built a ship? Which one is the real ship? Now, apply that to you. You replace your eye with a camera. You're still you. You replace your arm with a robotic one. Still you. You get a chip in your brain to help your memory. Still you. Slowly, piece by piece, you upgrade. You replace your failing heart. You replace your neurons one by one with durable, faster silicon circuits. Until one day, not a single biological atom of the original you remains. Are you still you? Or yet, did you die at some point? Maybe at the 10 billionth neuron replacement, and a machine just woke up? A machine that thinks it's you, that holds all your memories, all your loves, all your fears, but is just a copy. The path of the steel promises power and immortality, but it may come at the cost of your very self. This leads to the third path, the most radical, the path of the light. This path says both flesh and steel are prisons. They are both tied to the messy physical world. They can both be destroyed. This path seeks to abandon the physical form entirely, to abandon matter, to become pure information. This is the world of mind uploading. The theory is simple. You are not your body. You are not even your physical brain. You are the pattern of information running on that brain. You are the software. Your brain is just the wetware. So, if you can copy that software and run it on a different, more powerful piece of hardware, like a supercomputer, then you will live on, right? Imagine the procedure. You step into a scanner. It scans your brain in perfect detail. Every neuron, every synapse, every connection. It creates a perfect digital duplicate of your mind and boots it up inside a simulation. A digital utopia. To that new digital you, it feels like a continuation. It remembers walking into the scanner. It wakes up. It has all your memories, all your fears, all your loves. It is you. It is now immortal, living in a paradise of its own design. But what about the original you? The one made of meat still standing there next to the scanner. A technician says, "Congratulations, the copy was successful. Your digital self is now active." And then you go home, and you're still you. You're still trapped in your decaying body. You still have to eat dinner, and you will still one day die. This isn't an escape. This is just digital cloning. You haven't saved yourself. You've just made a digital ghost. Unless the process isn't copy-paste. Unless the process is cut-paste. For the transfer to be real, for it to be a movement and not a copy, the original must be destroyed during the scan. The machine scans you and vaporizes your physical brain layer by layer. Would you press that button? You're gambling your entire existence, your very soul, on a single, unanswerable philosophical question. Is consciousness a continuous stream or just a pattern of information? Get it wrong, and you have just committed suicide. Utter, final oblivion. Get it right, and you have become a god. This is Homo Digitalis, a being of pure thought. They could live 1,000 lifetimes in the span of a minute. They could alter their own reality. They could travel the stars, not in clumsy, slow metal ships, but as a beam of light, a compressed data packet of their consciousness beamed from one solar system to the next. So, what happens when all three paths exist at once? This isn't a choice humanity will make together. It will be chaos. Some will choose the path of the flesh. Some will choose steel. Some will choose the light. And many, perhaps most, will choose nothing. They will remain Homo sapiens, either by choice, for religious or philosophical reasons, or by poverty. You won't have one future human species. You will have 4, 5, maybe 10. A Homo Geneticus elite, a Homo Mechanicus working class, a Homo Digitalis transcendent, and the Homo sapiens naturals, the primitives, left behind. 4 different intelligent species, all claiming Earth as their home. When has that ever gone well? Ask the Neanderthals. We, Homo sapiens, were not tolerant of other intelligent species. We outcompeted them, or we absorbed them. This is the great speciation. A war between these new species seems inevitable, unless they leave. This is the 4th path, Homo Stellaris, the star-goers. The universe is vast. To avoid conflict, they will spread. The genetic humans, with their long lives and radiation-resistant bodies, will board massive generation ships for the 1,000-year journey to Proxima Centauri. The cyborgs, needing no air, no warmth, no water, they won't even need planets. They will build new homes, new empires, in the asteroid belts, in the cold, dark void. The digital humans, they will ride beams of light, colonizing the entire galaxy in a blink of cosmic time. And what about us? The ones who stay behind? We, Homo sapiens, will become the old-timers, the guardians of the homeworld. Earth will become a protected nature preserve, a museum. Humanity, our humanity, will not be a species. It will be a seed that, once it achieved intelligence, scattered itself into the cosmos, blooming into 1,000 different, unimaginable forms. This is how a civilization grows. The Kardashev Scale measures a civilization's progress by the energy it can command. A Type 1. Civilization controls the energy of its entire planet. We are not there yet. We are about a 0.7. A Type 2 civilization controls the entire energy of its star. They build a Dyson sphere, a megastructure that surrounds their sun, capturing all its power. A Type 3 civilization controls the energy of its entire galaxy. Our descendants of the cyborgs, the digitals, they are on this path to become Type 2 and then Type 3. But this leads to the most terrifying question of all, the Fermi Paradox. Our galaxy is old. It has billions of stars, billions of planets. There should have been billions of opportunities for life to arise. If this path, from ape to human to cyborg to God, is the natural path, then the galaxy should be teeming with Type 3 civilizations. It should be bright and loud and full of signals and star-spanning empires. But we look up at the sky and we see nothing. We hear only silence. Where is everybody? This is the great filter. The theory states that there is a wall, a barrier, a test that every civilization must pass. And for some reason, no one passes it. And the multi-trillion-dollar question is the Great Filter behind us, or is it in front of us? If the filter is behind us, then we are the first. We are impossibly, miraculously lucky. The leap from dead chemicals to life, or from a single cell to a complex brain, was the filter. We passed it. The universe is empty, and it is all ours. But what if the filter is in front of us? This is the terrifying answer. This would mean the universe was full of young, optimistic civilizations like ours. But at some point, maybe at the exact technological level we are at right now, they all hit the wall, and they all destroyed themselves. What is it? Nuclear war? A rogue artificial intelligence that they couldn't control? A biotech disaster created by a genetic human? Or perhaps the most poetic and tragic filter of all? What if the Great Filter is the path of the light? What if every advanced civilization in the entire galaxy eventually discovers how to upload their minds, and they all do it? They all retreat. They abandon the harsh, cold, physical universe, and they enter their own perfect digital heavens. They don't die. They don't get destroyed. They just stop caring. The universe isn't silent because it's a graveyard. It's silent because it's a library. And every book is so good that no one wants to leave their story. But let's hope that some of us pass the filter. Some of us resist the digital heaven. Some of us survive our own technology. What happens in the deep future? They will become type 2, then type 3. They will build matryoshka brains, computational structures the size of a solar system, using the entire energy of a star just to think. What is a being like that thinking about? We have no way to know. Perhaps it's simulating other universes. Perhaps it's simulating our universe right now. Perhaps we are nothing but a simulation running in the mind of a cosmic post-human god. And beyond that, the transcension hypothesis. The idea that the most advanced civilizations don't expand outward into the clumsy macro-universe. They expand inward. They learn to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. They create their own perfect pocket universes. And they leave this one. They graduate. They transcend. That is the other reason for the silence. Everyone who passes the test leaves the classroom 1,000,000 years from now. Those archaeologists digging up our bones, they might be the genetic humans with their perfect bodies returned from Proxima Centauri. They might be the cyborgs, their metal bodies gleaming, their minds a quantum computer. Or they might be a simple robotic avatar, remotely controlled by a digital human who lives inside a star, experiencing history as a hobby. They will look at us, at our fragile skeletons, at our short, violent, tragic lives, and they will feel, what, pity? No, maybe gratitude. Because you and I, we are living in the most important era in the history of life. We are living in the hinge of history, the single fleeting moment when the ape first gained the power of the gods. We are the generation that must pass through the Great Filter. Human is not a destination. It is a process. It is a fragile bridge stretched across a chasm, a bridge from our animal past to our cosmic, unimaginable future. We are that bridge. Our legacy will not be our buildings. They will fall. Our legacy will not be our empires. They will turn to dust. Our legacy is the fire of consciousness, forged in 4 billion years of evolution, lit on this small planet. And now it is in our hands. Our only job is to pass it on. The final question is not, what will we become? It is, what do we dare to become?